to bring into a new world order, and how can we avoid that new world order becomes like a jungle growing back?
With our Digital Services Act, we defined the responsibilities of large internet.
Yes, this is concerning the facet in the European Union are preparing to shut down opposition speech. Ursula von Press of the EU Commission describe how they plan to establish control over social media platforms, the last form of media outside of their control.
Dear Klaus, let me go back to the number one concern of the Global Risk Report: disinformation and misinformation. Tackling this has been our focus since the very beginning of my mandate. With our Digital Services Act, we defined the responsibilities of large internet platforms on the content they promote and propagate, responsible to children and vulnerable groups targeted by hate speech, but also a responsibility to our societies as a whole. Because the boundary between online and offline is getting thinner and thinner. And the values we cherish offline should also be protected online. And this is even more important in this new era of generative AI. Now, the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report puts artificial intelligence as one of the top potential risks for the next decade.
Yes, they can't hide it any longer. They now say it openly. You might be wondering why there is a lot of censorship on social media because of people like this. She has said it clear their plans in 2024, what they have been doing in the past and what they will proceed. I think I did a video a few days ago where Google is sending out a message to all advertisers to be cautious about sensitive content. They would define this coming this month. We are waiting to see the kind of censorship that is coming in.
Our leaders are not addressing the needs of the people. We have an increasing detachment of the political elite from the working class. And
what do you see as the actual risk?
I think actually going back to this point about in democracies, populations stopping to trust our governments, which is the biggest problem we see, particularly in Europe at this moment. You've seen recent elections in the Netherlands, you've seen that in France. And societies are polarizing because our leaders are not addressing the needs of the people. We have an increasing detachment of the political elite from the working class and the people that actually go to work every day. And that I see as the number one risk for our societies. And remember, this year, a lot of people are going to vote. So we need to make sure they vote for the right things and are not just venting anger.
Well, there is so much change coming, and we've seen even in Europe that climate change is a source of anger as well. Yeah. The big theme here is rebuilding trust in Davos. Yeah. How do we tackle transformation without leaving part?
Yes, a lot is happening in Davos. I believe you've seen here where they are in the metaverse talking about climate skeptic. That is not our focus. Zelensky said something that triggered a lot of people, very concerning.
In fact, Putin embodies war.
Zelensky told Davos it is time to put an end to Putin before he invades the rest of Europe. If you remember, countries are sounding alarm in Europe of World War III. A lot is happening in Davos. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play so you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
In fact, Putin embodies war. We all know that he is the sole reason why various wars and conflicts persist and why all attempts to restore peace have failed, and he will not change. He will not change. We must change. We all must change to the extent that the madness that resides in this man's head or any other aggressor's head will not prevail. Putin is frank about what he wants, what he does, and who his targets are. His answer to the duration of the war is always war, without an end, and he wants in this way. His answer to the limits of chaos in the world is the boundless support of terrorist forces. He enjoys conflicts that cause suffering to others. His answer to calls for peace is supplying more and more weapons from North Korea and Iran. Regimes like his exist as long as they wage wars. And we all in a free world exist as long as we can defend ourselves. If anyone thinks this is only about us, this is only about Ukraine, they are fundamentally mistaken. Possible directions and even timeline of a new Russian aggression beyond Ukraine become more and more obvious. Let me ask very honestly, which European nation today can provide a combat-ready army on par with ours, holding back Russia? And how many men and women are your nation ready to send to defend another state, another nation? And if one must fight against Putin together in the years ahead, isn't it better to put an end to him and his war strategy now, while our brave men and women are already doing it? They are the world's chance. They are.
Yes, for people that are not familiar with what is going on, a lot of countries are preparing war with Russia, especially EU. I've seen these, read articles, even United Kingdom is preparing forces because of Russia. I'm seeing on social media, people are talking about World War III. I actually decided to summarize this video, so you can see, what is being discussed in Davos. I didn't want to put a lot of videos about this topic, so it is important. Yes, when I look back at some videos, where Zelensky made it clear he is not ready to talk about peace. There was a certain time Russia was ready to actually negotiate, but this man was not ready to negotiate or talk about an issue with peace. Now, what I hear coming out of his mouth is peace, 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 peace. Maybe Russia at this time is not also ready.
Today we stand really at a unique juncture in human history, facing challenges that are as diverse as they are profound. The special role of the World Economic Forum is not to look just at one single issue. It is a place where at the beginning of the year we come together to analyze the state of the world